You wake up every day hoping to feel like working, waiting for motivation to knock on your door like a persistent salesman. You just lie there staring at the ceiling, waiting for some magical force to invade your body and make you jump out of bed hungry for achievement. And while you wait, while you stay in that pathetic position of an emotional beggar, the world doesn't stop. Your competitors don't stop. Your dreams don't wait for you to feel inspired. Napoleon Hill knew this decades ago. He had already figured out that there's a brutal difference between those who act and those who wait to feel like acting. And today, you're going to discover why anyone who needs motivation was born a loser. Motivation is for the weak. It's for those who still haven't figured out that life isn't a Disney movie where you wake up singing and dancing towards success. Motivation is the opium of the mediocre. It's the drug that keeps people addicted to feeling good, but never to real action. You know what the difference is between a winner and a loser? The winner acts even when they don't want to. The loser waits to want to before acting. That's the difference. Simple as that, brutal as that. While you're sitting there waiting for motivation, your competitors are building empires. While you're searching for the perfect YouTube video that's going to give you that "now I'm going to do it" feeling, others are dirty from work, tired, unmotivated, but doing it anyway. Discipline doesn't ask if you're in the mood. Discipline doesn't negotiate with your feelings. Discipline just happens. And whoever hasn't figured this out is still playing at being an adult. Napoleon Hill spent years studying successful people. You know what he discovered? That none of them waited to feel like working. All of them created systems, created structures, created a war mentality where doing is the only option. Hill understood that success isn't a matter of inspiration, it's a matter of construction. And construction is heavy work, repetitive, unglamorous. It's waking up every day and doing the same boring things that will take you to the top. You want to know why you fail? Because you still believe the lie that you need to be inspired to produce. You still believe that great achievers wake up every day, jumping for joy to work. That they have some emotional secret that you don't have. The truth is, they hate working just as much as you do. The difference is they do it even while hating it. They understood that work doesn't exist to give you pleasure. Work exists to give you results. Modern society has created a generation addicted to feeling good. You guys want to feel passionate about everything before doing anything. You want to be in love with the work, inspired by the mission, motivated by the cause. And while you're stuck in this emotional masturbation, the real world is being built by people who simply do. Who get out of bed, brush their teeth and work. No drama, no theater. No need for an epic soundtrack playing in their heads. And if this video is making you reflect so far, hit that like button. Subscribe to Success Mindset Academy because the next videos are going to transform you even more. Join those who have already decided to evolve, who have stopped waiting for emotional permission to act. You know what's the biggest lie they told you? That you need to find your passion. That you need to discover that thing that makes you jump out of bed, singing. That's Instagram Coach Talk. The naked truth is that passion is a consequence, not a cause. You don't find passion, you build passion. And you build passion by doing, repeating, improving, mastering. Passion is born from competence, not the other way around. Losers are in an eternal search for the perfect activity that's going to make them feel fulfilled. They keep changing careers, businesses, goals, always hoping to find that magical thing that will make work not feel like work. And they die searching, die waiting, without ever having really started anything. Winners choose a direction and walk, even when it's boring, even when it's difficult, even when they want to quit. They understood that the path to success isn't a road of rose petals. It's an emotional minefield where you'll want to stop at every step. And whoever stops loses. Napoleon Hill discovered that all the millionaires he studied went through moments of deep discouragement, moments where they wanted to throw everything away, moments where the last thing they felt was motivation. But they didn't stop, not because they were superhumans, but because they had built a mental system where stopping simply wasn't an option. Motivation is like sugar in coffee. It tastes good in the moment, but doesn't sustain you. Discipline is like the coffee itself. Bitter, but keeps you awake during the entire battle. You need to stop looking for sugar and start drinking black coffee. You need to stop sweetening your reality and start facing the real taste of success. You want to know what separates the 1% from the 99%? The 99% do it when they feel like it. The 1% feel like it because they do it. That's the difference. Losers wait for the feeling to come before acting. Winners act to create the feeling. They know that action precedes emotion, not the other way around. The pain you feel when you're not motivated isn't a problem. It's an indicator. It's your primitive brain trying to keep you in the comfort zone. It's your survival system trying to protect you from the unknown. And you need to be grateful for this pain, because it shows you exactly where you need to go. Pain points to growth. Discomfort points to evolution. While the weak run from pain, the strong run toward it. While losers interpret discomfort as a signal to stop, winners interpret it as a signal to accelerate. Pain doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to forge you, to transform you into someone capable of bearing the weight of success. And you who've made it this far have already proven something to yourself, proven that you're capable of absorbing difficult truths. But what comes next is going to connect all of this. It's going to show how to transform this understanding into real power. Continue, because the next step reveals the secret that took Napoleon Hill decades to discover. Most people live as if they were immortal, but act as if they were going to die tomorrow. They postpone everything important, waiting for the perfect moment, but despair for immediate results. They want to build an empire, but can't build a habit. They want to transform their entire life, but can't transform a single day. Success isn't an event, it's a process. A boring, repetitive, unglamorous process. It's doing the same thing every day until it becomes automatic. It's transforming the extraordinary into ordinary through repetition. It's making the impossible possible through systematic persistence. Napoleon Hill observed that all great achievers had one characteristic in common. They had transformed work into ritual. Not into pleasure, but into ritual. Something sacred that isn't questioned, like brushing your teeth or taking a shower. You don't need to motivate yourself to brush your teeth. You simply do it. Because it's a ritual. Because it's part of who you are. Winners ritualize success. They create sacred routines where motivation has no active voice, where mood doesn't get to vote, where desire doesn't get an opinion. They wake up and execute, like machines programmed for victory. And while they execute their rituals, motivation appears as a consequence, not as a prerequisite. You're closer than you think. Closer to discovering that you don't need to feel in order to do. Closer to understanding that action is the mother of all positive feelings. Closer to realizing that you were looking in the wrong place. You were looking for motivation outside, but it was always inside, sleeping, waiting for you to wake it up through action. The tragedy of your generation is that you were taught that feeling is more important than doing, that validating emotions is more important than validating results. You were raised in a culture that glorifies feelings and demonizes effort, a culture that celebrates sensitivity and punishes toughness. But real life doesn't work that way. Real life doesn't care about your feelings. The market doesn't care about your mood. Your competitors don't stop because you're not inspired. Time doesn't wait for you to feel ready. Opportunity doesn't come back because you weren't motivated when it appeared. True winners figured this out early. They understood that success isn't a matter of natural talent or divine gift. It's a matter of system, of structure, of process. They built a mental machine that produces results regardless of emotional climate, like a hydroelectric plant that generates energy even when it's raining. And the most brutal part is that the more you wait for motivation, the less it appears. It's like trying to force yourself to sleep. The more you try, the more awake you stay. Motivation works the same way. The more you chase it, the more it runs away. But when you stop pursuing and start acting, it comes running after you. Napoleon Hill discovered that the human mind is like a muscle. The more you exercise it toward discipline, the stronger it gets. The more you exercise it toward procrastination, the weaker it gets. And most people spend their entire lives strengthening the muscles of weakness. Exercising laziness, draining quitting. You're no longer the same person who started watching this video. You've already understood that motivation is a loser's crutch. You've already realized that discipline is the language of winners. You've already figured out that action generates emotion, not the other way around. You're part of an invisible minority, a silent elite that understood the real game.